Hello, this is Olaolumoronkola from Lamp Media Production. Today, I want to show you something amazing, especially for those of you who have a printing office and you print business cards for customers, and you use this kind of cutting machine. I also run a printing office myself, and over time, I've seen many clients send in their business card designs in the wrong size. Most times, I do correct it from my hand, but you know how it is. There is always that back and forth. I fix it. At times, I will tell them to fix it. And many a times, it takes a long time. Sometimes, clients even send their already arranged cards on A4 paper. So when I ask them, is it as in document or fit to page? They become confused. One of my third-party clients once told me how difficult it was for them to cut the cards I printed for them. Not because the print wasn't fine, but because the layout they sent didn't fit their cutting machine. So I decided to share my own template. The same one I've been using since I got this machine, and it has been easy for me to cut my cards every time. You will find the link somewhere in this video and the password too. Write it down so you can have access to the template anytime. Now, this template has been arranged perfectly. You don't need to fit it to page. Everything is already set. It has bleeds, save area, and cutting marks. For the sake of those who may not understand some of these terms, let me explain quickly. The trim mark is the exact place your card will be cut. The save area is the inner boundary, is the line that tells you not to put any important text or object beyond it, so you don't lose anything when cutting. Alright, let's go straight into it. Here is the file I'm referring to. So this is the file. I will double click on it and it will open now. It's a CorelDRAW template. You see these two rectangles, they are already placed in position. In case you want to do double-sided card, you just fold it at the center. You put the first side on this place and you put the second side on the other side of the card here. As you can see now, I've put guidelines which help us to know the edge of the card, the trim mark, and the save area. From my measurement here, it means that when you are designing your card, the full card you are going to design should be 3.62 by 2.25, but mind you, nothing should exceed that. Nothing should go close to that edge. Now, how do you know where your text should go? You will know by looking at the center guide here. This center guide is the trim mark, which that is the place where your card will be cut by the time you put it inside the cutting machine. It is this exact line, that green line here, that the machine would cut, and this third one inside is the safe area, which any of your important items should not pass through. So let me show you further. I will need to open or bring in a dummy business card I downloaded from Canva, because nowadays most people design their cards by themselves using Canva. In another video, I already explained how to make a ready to print business card in Canva. So this is the card This is the card I downloaded from Canva. I did not change the size, just as normal thing as everybody would do. I did not adjust anything. In case you are doing it on your own, you might have changed the names and everything. But in my own case, I didn't change anything. I just download it. What I'm only concerned with is the size. So let me drag that card inside CorelDRAW. So I've dragged it inside. Once you drag it inside, let's assume we are starting from here, and when you are bringing it inside, don't place it directly on the shapes or any of the shape. Just place it far away like this. So if it is too big, you can reduce the size, and if it is too small, you can increase it so that it will not be too large than our shape that is here. Now the next thing to do is to right click on this business card that we have dragged in, then go to power clip. So when you click on power clip, then this arrow will show, then you click on one of the shapes. You see what it does now? It jumped from the position where I placed it directly into the center of the card placeholder. If I had placed it on the card placeholder, it will maintain that position, but because I moved it away from the card placeholder, it moved and placed itself at the actual center of the card. So from what we did now, if you look at it closely, you will notice that the same size I was dragging match exactly on my trim mark, which most times is not ideal to print exactly as your trim mark. So that's why these other edges is needed, because by the time you print exactly as your trim mark, during the time of trimming, there might be shakings. Machine might shake, your hand might shake, and there will be white area showing. That's why you have to let your design bleed. Bleed means that you allow the background of your design to flow a little bit far away from the cutting mark or trim mark. Now let's assume this is the design that was sent to me and I want to adjust it. So I need to enter into the container. After I've placed it inside the container, I need to enter into the container. So I will be trying to make the design bleed by extending it on both sides, but by the time I'm extending it, many parts of the design will cut. So the only thing I can do is to return the design back to the designer and tell the person to readjust the design from his or her end. And in this case, let's assume I return the design back to the designer. I will just tell the designer these sizes. So the sizes we are actually expecting is 3.62 by 2.25. So I can quickly fix that from my hand too. I will just go to Canva, then resize, then I choose custom size, then 3.62 by 2.25. You can see here I've done something recently like that. That's why the size is already here. By the time I click and I say resize this design, automatically the design will expand and it will give me more space. And I need to move all these things also, since I've resized the design and the background has extended. But looking at this, the design might still enter into the trimline. By default, Canva will not show you ruler guide, but when you need it, you can call out the ruler guide to know exactly what you are doing. We are only concerned about this side. So what I will need to call out the ruler is to press Shift R. So when you press Shift R, ruler guide will appear just like other designing software that we are familiar with. So now I need to now look at what's the distance between this place and this place. So when you go back to my template, the distance between this place and this place is usually 0.25. So now let's go back to Canva. After calling out the ruler guide, can now drag from the vertical ruler and start measuring on the horizontal ruler, starting from 0. Here, this is 0. Then you move it. You don't release your hand until you get to 0.25, something like that. So with this now, you can now rearrange, because this is already at the edge of the safe area. You can move it a little bit away, or you leave it like that, since it is still perfectly on the line of the safe area, and we'll be having our cutting mark around this place. If you can be so careful enough, you can do that. So this one that we adjusted to, we have to let it bleed out to move a little bit away from the cut mark, so that there won't be excesses of this other background showing after cutting. So after we have done that, we can now export. So you have to check this side too, if the side is also correct. But since we have added the we have resized the shape or the size of our ID card, the size must have affected this side also. So now let's export to download. So I only want to download page 2, then download. Now it has downloaded again. So here is it. So let me drag it also back to CorelDRAW. Move this one away. Let me enter into the container to delete this one, and here is the new file. Now with the new size that we have created, just click on power clip, then place it inside. You see now everything is now perfectly fit into our size. So by the time we print this one and place it inside the machine, it will cut smoothly and perfect. So after done that, I want to assume this is just a single-sided card. So what I need to do now is just to duplicate this one and paste it on the other side. So I will just press plus on my keyboard. It has become double. Hold shift on this one, then press C. So it's become 2. Because this one at the top, that's where we are not seeing it. Can simply send this one backward to show this one. So I assume this is just a single-sided card. So this can be applied to front and back card, can also be applied to double thickness card. Now the next thing now to do is to now lay it over this A4 size paper. You can see here the size of the paper template is A4, and everything's supposed to cover here for us to be able to print up to like 10 on a card. So when you are moving, you just move it a little bit. The distance should not be much. I've already created a minimal space. If you want it to be closer, fine. If you want to maintain this spacing, fine, but don't let it be more than this space, because by the time the space by the time they are too much spaced out, it might be going out of the printing margin of your printer. So the next thing I will do is to duplicate by selecting the tool, click and move. Then you hold Ctrl down as you are moving, so that the shape you have picked will be kept straight vertically downward, will be aligned vertically downward. So the next thing now is to right click as you move, then you right click to duplicate. Even before you get to where you want it, you might have done the right clicking. Then you let the edge align with the new line, spacing line, and that's it. So we now have two lines. So yes, we now have two shapes. So before you click out or do anything, just go ahead and press Ctrl D. So another duplicate will be produced and will be placed at exactly the same distance as the previous one you just did. So remain two spaces now. Ctrl D again, then another Ctrl D. Now with this, you can have 10 cards on A4 perfectly ready for printing and cutting. Let me know if you'd like me to do another video to show how to set up for those other card types, as like front and back or double thickness card. Thank you for listening. I would really love to hear how you use this template in your printing work going forward. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share this video to someone who might need it. Thank you.